Hi, it's Olivia, and today I have a discussion video which I haven't done in months, so I'm super excited. Today I'll be talking about kind of the guilt, like any type of reader's guilt, like if you're not reading enough or you just have like a lot of unfinished books. So let me start out by telling you my year so far in reading, or more of like my lack of reading this year. The last book that I finished was Saga, which is a graphic novel that I finished like 2 days ago. Ooh, I need to return this to the library. I'm collecting fines. I believe that makes a grand total of 8 or 9 books for me this year. And to some people, that's hardly anything because maybe that's what they read in a week or a month. And to some people that might be like a ton, you know, there's the people who don't read, there's people who read like 1 book a year. It's kind of relative what you consider a lot of reading. And also a lot of those books have been really tiny. I read Passing by Noah Larson, The Bridge to Terabithia, The Little Prince, that one. They're tiny. And for me, that's not a lot of books at all. And I was thinking about this, and you know, I've gotten comments, and I've seen comments in like other wrap-ups of people who are like, oh dang, you know, I feel terrible because I didn't read that many books. I didn't reach the certain number of books that this other person did or something. You know, the basis of BookTube is books and reading. It almost feels like there's this BookTube requirement that you should be reading a lot or just constantly reading. I don't feel as guilty as I would like in the past few years because right now I'm just like realizing that it's okay to have other interests, to be just simply doing other stuff. It doesn't mean that you don't like reading as much or that you don't care about it as much, is that you also are just making time and room for other stuff in your life. Netflix, I'm so late to the club on this one, but I just recently finished watching all of The Office and I'm going through it again. I'm gonna be watching that for the rest of my life. That show is gold, and Michael Scott is like one of the funniest characters I've ever seen. I also like to do art, and I have like a huge art project that I want to do this entire summer. And there's an art piece that took me like, I want to say it was around 20 hours in total to do that. And then there's life. Sometimes life just gets busy. I also feel guilty for reading for fun during school. Like there's school guilt because it's like, well, I'm reading for fun, but I could be reading something for homework or studying like that. And I guess my point here is that even though that's like a small amount of books for me, and because I'm on BookTube, I feel like I kind of should be reading more, I don't really feel all that guilty, and I don't think that other people should either. So even just reading 1 book is amazing. I feel like I think it's kind of a privilege to be able to be literate. Like I am so grateful that I am able to read, you know? The only guilt that I have and will probably have forever is you know, we'll only be alive for so long, and there's like an endless amount of books, you know, the quote, so many books, so little time. So that's like my only regret, is that I'm not filling that time with more reading. But as for like reading to reach a certain number each month, bringing it back to BookTube, it is a little bit more of a struggle if you're not reading as much, because at least for me, I wanted to do more book reviews this year, and it's hard to do book reviews when you're not reading books, but that's also the beauty in book tags. You can, you know, talk about a book that you read years ago that wouldn't have come up in conversation otherwise. Like, you know, it wouldn't come up in any of your current videos. That's why I love tags. You can reflect on like so many other books that you've read in the past. I also want to talk about unfinished books. I think this came up kind of recently on one of Bree Hill's video. I commented, like I was reading multiple books at one time a lot this year. I think there's over like 10 books this year that I started and did not finish. And Bree also mentioned like it's hard to read multiple books at once. I can't do it. I think at one point I hit like 5 books at one time. I was at different spots in all of them, and I didn't finish any of them. It's just hard to keep track of the stories and the names. I have to put my focus on one. If you're able to do it, let me know, because it's pretty awesome. Anyways, that's kind of, I think that's all I want to talk about. I'm so excited for this summer because, you know, no school, which means more reading, more just doing anything that I want, and I'm so excited for all the summer readathons, but specifically Booktubeathon. I've been participating in that one since the first year, and I think this is year 5. Is anyone else participating? If you're in a reading slump, I hope you know, you find a book soon to help overcome it, but also don't feel guilty if you're not reading. There's other things you could be doing with your time, and sometimes you just don't feel like it, or it's just not the right time. If you're having an awesome reading year, also let me know. Oh, what's your favorite book that you've read this year? What's your favorite book that you've read this year? Because that will immediately go on my TBR. Anytime someone tells me that they've read like a recent new favorite, I have to put it on my TBR. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment because that's why I love these discussions, and I will see you in another video. Bye.